I'm Niranjan. This Saturday evening, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you with what has been a week of investigative stories, exclusive news breaks that have dominated headlines across the country. Stories that were and went on to become India's biggest talking points. First up, the Republic Aravalli investigation. Our investigation in the last 10 days as we travelled across Rajasthan, Haryana, Kotputli, Alwar, Sirohi, Charkida, re-entering villages, residential zones, mining sites inside the Aravalli range. Our cameras capturing the truth about what is happening in the Aravalli range. What authorities will not dare to admit. Every law, regulation, every word written on paper being flouted. That's our first long-form investigation. We're getting you the documents, testimonies and evidence. And next on the show tonight, after decades of ecological neglect, we had a landmark Supreme Court judgment that redefined the Aravallis. But as our investigation shows, questions remain on how will this ruling of the Supreme Court protect mountains, communities and the future of mining in India. Republic went straight to the judge behind the judgment. Earlier this week, Arnab, Goswami, our editor, sat down with former Chief Justice Gavay for an exclusive interview on the implications of the verdict. That's on the long-form story tonight. And finally, in Bangladesh this week, it's been a very, very violent week with a surge of attacks targeting Hindus, political upheaval, ousting of a Prime Minister, and the return of Tariq Rahman, shaping the nation's power structure. The Republic team has documented these shocking events from Dhaka to the border, exposing the violence and intimidation facing minorities. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the Aravalli files, a Republic exclusive investigation reported from the ground by our team of reporters. We get you the story behind the debate over a Supreme Court judgment, which played out in studios, in newsrooms, on the ground. And Republic went across the Aravalli range all of last week and the last 10 days. And on paper, the government insists that mining will remain regulated. Republic decided to test that claim through ground reporting. Our reporters travelled across Rajasthan, Haryana, and went to different districts, the 30-plus districts along the Aravalli range, to check the reality of what is going on. These include mining belts, residential zones inside the Aravalli buffer zone. And what our team discovered was mind-boggling. Night mining captured on camera, blasting dangerously close to homes, the 100 to 500 meter rules being flouted, sunset clause being flouted, dust clouds engulfing villages. This is not just desk reporting. Republic reporters went to the ground, stood at the blast sites and spoke to villagers. This is the Aravalli files, which has been spoken about across the country all of last week.
Behind me are clear live visuals of mining activities going on.
Right now, I'll show you the situation because it is caught on our camera. As you can see, there are 3 trucks. When we came here, when Republic came.
Right now, we are present in the Sirohi district and near the Silwara Dam.
This is the Aravali range in Tosham area, and this is the Dadam area.
Republic is here at Sawalpura, Taranpur in Sikra, Rajasthan. As we know that recently the Supreme Court has accepted the new definition of the Aravalli range, where any mountain which is under the height of 100 meters will not be considered as a part of Aravalli range. Now, what will be the repercussions of it? Any mountain which is not considered a part of Aravalli range will be open to construction, will be open to mining, and this Aravalli range, which is more than 2.5 billion years old, also the lungs of the Delhi NCR, protects Delhi NCR from heat wave, from dust, and from letting the situation get even worse.
This judgment, delivered by former Chief Justice B.R. Gavay, just 2 days before his retirement, numerical threshold for a geological system that stretches nearly 700 kilometers across northwest India.
पर मैं बिल्कुल स्पष्ट रूप से बता रहा हूं 0.19% से ज्यादा में हो ही नहीं पाएगा.
The assurance is clear. Mining, the government says, will remain regulated. But as the Republic's investigative team found on the ground, even before the new definition takes effect, illegal mining is already entrenched.
Well, we are at Pawana Ahir, which is a very secluded village at Rajasthan, and till now we have covered around 3 villages, and one thing has been common, that is illegal mining all throughout the Aravalli hills. And right now I'll show you the situation because it is caught on our camera. As you can see, there are 3 trucks. When we came here, when Republic came here, this was a well-lit area. Mining was going on, and as per the DGMC order, which is Directorate General of Mine Safety, DGMS's order, no mining is allowed post sunset. So the allowed time period is between sunrise to sunset. But we reached here around half an hour ago, and this entire area I am showing you, which is pitch dark right now, this was completely well lit. There you can see there are 3 trucks who are functioning, who are carrying out the mining, illegal mining of that sorts. And the moment they saw us arriving, they started turning off the lights one by one. All these trucks who were working, they became stationary, and now this entire area, which was very well lit just 15 minutes ago, is completely pitch black. Now, even if you see, we'll also show you just a few meters ahead from us, a small light. That is the only light which is still there, which is not even 2% of the light, how well lit this area was. And that is where this entire area, there was mining going on against the law, against the order. And after being reminded n number of times, they still continue to do this. And this has been a common practice in all the villages that we have covered till now.
We are here at the illegal mining site in Gudana. This mining site is excavating stones and is one of the primary suppliers of Delhi Metro as well. They have been supplying stone from this mine to Delhi Metro and constructing a lot of things.
जी हमारे ये में अरावली है जी, इस पार्ट में 87 बीघा 3 विश्वा है, खसरा नंबर 1 है। इसमें 57,200 पौधे लगे हैं, और मैंने डीसी के कम से कम 10 दरखास्त दे रखी हैं। हर महीने दरखास्त देता हूँ, गरीबेंस की भी देता हूँ। डीसी ने कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की। वो पता नहीं वो एप्लीकेशन कहाँ जमा होती है। हमारी कोई सुनाई नहीं हो रही। हमारे गांव के 16 कुआं फैल हो रहे हैं, और हमारे गांव में 10-12 मकानों में पड़ भी गए, दरार भी आ रहे हैं, और इतनी ब्लास्टिंग करते हैं। अभी यहाँ की नीलगाय है, उनका गर्भपात भी खत्म हो जाता है। हमारे पशु चरते हैं, उनको भी खतरा है। और दूसरी बात यह है कि दिन रात इतनी प्रदूषण होता है कि बच्चों का पढ़ाई में नुकसान होता है। हमारे गांव यहाँ से 700 मीटर है, यहाँ देख लो, जहाँ पूरा गांव दिखता है। कोई नुकसान, इतना नुकसान होता है, फसल में भी नुकसान हो रहा है। आप देख लो फसल में कितना गर्दा जम रहा है।
हमने जी मेरा नाम तो भी 7 साल हो गया दरखास्त लिया नहीं। हर 6 महीना में एक बार एडीसी के मेरे पास नोटिस आता है, भैया आप अपना सबूत सहित फलाने टाइम दादरी हाजिर हो जाओ। हमने माइनिंग वाले बुला रखे हैं, अधिकारी बुला रखे हैं, मेरे को बुला लेते हैं, फिर वहाँ जाता हूँ, कोई सुनाई नहीं होती। हमने पैमाश करी, लाखों रुपये लगाए। यहाँ पर गाँव ने धरना दिया। बड़ी भारी भयंकर मी और आंधी तूफान में हमारा एक आदमी मर भी गया था यहाँ, और बार बार बिजली को हमने दे दी, लोकायुक्त में हमने लगा ली, डीसी का हमने लगा ली, खनन विभाग का हमने लगा ली, खनन मंत्री का हमने लगा ली, लेकिन हमारी कोई सुनाई को नहीं हो.
It is not just Kotputli, it is also the neighboring villages who we've tried reaching out to come share their story with us, and there were hundreds of people here with us who were sharing their story, sharing their version, how this illegal mining, even before this acceptance of the new definition by the Supreme Court, has been troubling their lives, has hugely impacted their lives. And even on this right now, I can show you, we are just near the residential area of this mining, and as per law, any blast site should be at least at a distance of around 500 meters or 1500 meters. But we are just at a mere distance of around 82 meters from the blast site. And few of the houses here, like this one, is just at a distance of 42 feet. So people here are struggling. They have serious health issues. They're having trouble breathing. Their crops that they have grown, they have around 1 inches to 2 inches deep cement deposited on all of them. And we've also seen that because of the blast, because of the impact of the blast, and we'll also show you just a very small example of how this is affecting. Now this is just, we can show you, it is around 1 inch deep cement which is deposited on these trees nearby, and we'll also show you the cracks on the houses because the blast that they actually use in this cement mining, illegal cement mining that they're actually undertaken here, there are cracks in the house. We'll show you in all of the houses. That is what we've been documenting. These are all the cracks in the house because of the impact of those blasts.
They have been talking to the DC, they have talked to the mining minister, they have talked to the mining officer, but nobody is willing to listen to them. This illegal mining in this village has been causing cancer. It has been leaching into the waters and have reduced their water supply. Now this entire village has protested against this illegal mining that's happening here in Charki Dadri, but nobody is willing to listen. They also allege that a lot of the money has been paid to the DC and other officials to look the other way.
In Rajasthan's Sirohi district, 4 Gram Panchayats, Bharja, Rohida, Vatera, Bhimana and 12 villages have come together to oppose an 800-hectare mining project proposed by the Kamlesh Mehta Mining Company, a project valued at 1700 crore rupees, a project that villagers say could erase their homes, their fields and their way of life.
हम सुंदर देवी प्रजापत हैं सर जी. हमारे ये खनन विभाग से जो मकान जाने का है, इससे हम क्या करेंगे सर? हमारे छोटे छोटे बच्चे 20 साल से हम मजदूरी कर रहे थे, साल भर की मजदूरी हमने सब लगा दी इसमें. अब हमारे मकान जाएंगे, हम कहाँ जाएंगे बच्चों को लेके? क्या करेंगे? हमारी कोई इसमें कोई सुनवाई हो रही नहीं है, कोई कार्रवाई हो रही नहीं है सर. हम कहाँ जाएंगे, कहाँ भाग दौड़ करेंगे?
आपको कब पता चला कि ये प्रोजेक्ट साइन हुआ है और आपका घर जाने वाला?
मालूम है, 2 महीने से पता चला है मैडम जी. कहाँ जाएंगे बच्चे लेके? हमारा कोई ना कोई इसका निर्णय करो, कोई ना कोई हमारा सॉल्यूशन करो.
Villagers alleged agricultural land has been classified as barren. They say permissions were signed without their consent. Locals say our agricultural land that we depend on has been classified as barren to lease it for mining. Documents accessed by Sorali show that the land identified for the Kamlesh Mehta Mining Company project includes hundreds of khasra numbers officially recorded as private agricultural land. These entries do not describe barren or wasteland. They are revenue records of cultivated fields. Under the law, such land cannot be diverted without informed consent. Yet Gram Sabha records show villagers repeatedly objecting to the Kamlesh Mehta mining proposal. Despite these objections, official land acquisition proceedings moved forward. This document from the District Collector's Office in Sirohi details administrative approvals linked to land acquisition for Kamlesh Mehta Mining Company. As you can see on the screen, the conceptual mining plan lays out the scale, vast excavation zones, infrastructure and industrial expansion cutting deep into a living village landscape. Repeated queries to authorities have been met with templated responses.
So this is not a new thing. This project started in 2011. You were also there. You have heard everything. And these pattas were rejected by the government. And then that order was taken by the company to the court. And the court, the government has put their views on it. And we, unfortunately, जो आदेश था इन पट्टों को निरस्त करने का, वो स्टैंड नहीं कर पाया. उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट भी आगे गई. इसको पूरा राज्य सरकार ने शुरू से इसके विरोध में रही, पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट में क्योंकि इनकी मेटा कार्ड की तरफ आदेश हो गए थे, इस वजह से इनका प्रोसेस आगे स्टार्ट हुआ है. पर जैसा कि आप देख ही रहे हैं कि जनता में बहुत असंतुष्टि है और इनकी जो जन सुनवाई हुई थी उसमें भी इसके बारे में बहुत कुछ कहा गया था.
By this point, our reporting had already documented violations across multiple mining sites in Rajasthan. The investigation had moved beyond one village and one operator, Mahindra Goyal.
रूल बुक बहुत मोटी है. रूल बुक बहुत मोटी है. हमारे यहाँ तो महेंद्र गोयल जो है प्रभावशाली है, तो उसके लिए अलग रूल्स हैं. जनरल आदमी उसके लिए अलग रूल्स हैं.
As the team prepared to leave, he insisted we take this envelope, an envelope with cash, a clear attempt to bribe the Republic team.
नहीं सर,
बस आप हमसे छोटी हैं. बड़े भाई के नाते जो है ना, आप आइए, आप छोटा सा उपहार.
मैं सब
क्या बताओ? छोटा सा उपहार है या आपके?
नहीं सर,
अरे ये क्या?
अरे नहीं सर, बिल्कुल मैं समझ रही हूँ. मैं सिर्फ आपसे जानकारी लेने.
नहीं, वो आपकी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. मैंने ये भी आपसे निवेदन किया कि कभी भी आपको मेरे सिस्टम से संबंधित किसी भी प्रकार के आप जानकारी चाहिए तो आप कभी भी चॉइस करते मुझे आप कॉल कर सकती हैं. मैं जो भी उपलब्ध होगा आपको जानकारी. लेकिन ये वो आपका ट्रैवलिंग में देखो आपके बहुत खर्चे हो रहे हैं.
सर मैं समझ रही हूँ, और फिर मुझे वो मिलता है इतना तो.
नहीं मिलता है तो इसमें क्या छोटा सा उपहार है, कोई नहीं. इसको भाई की तरफ से गिफ्ट मान के रख लो. इसको अच्छा
आशीर्वाद दे दीजिए, आपका काफी है.
नहीं आप भाई की तरफ मान के इसको रखो.
नहीं बिल्कुल आप रखिए. आप बिल्कुल रखिए. बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. चलिए, थैंक यू.
From Kotputli to Alwar, from Lalavandi to Sikar, from Charki to Dadri to Sirohi, the Aravallis bear witness to what happens when rules are bent and communities are pushed to the edge. Our team witnessed it all. Mining beyond sanctioned areas, residential zones at risk, and even attempts to bribe reporters exposed on camera. Publics, the Aravalli files show protecting them requires more than laws on paper. It requires action on the ground.
From illegal mines hidden in the shadows of the night to villages under threat, communities now fighting to protect their land, the Aravallis tell a story of resilience. And after decades of ecological neglect, a landmark Supreme Court judgment has tried to redefine India's oldest mountain range. But as our team's investigation shows, laws on paper are not enough. And what does this ruling mean for the Aravallis? Does the definition make it even worse for the people who live among the Aravalli range and buffer zones, and for the future of mining in India? What did that judgment mean? We spoke to the man behind the judgment himself earlier this week. Our editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami sat down with the former Chief Justice B.R. Gavay, who delivered the Aravalli judgment, to discuss the judgment, the implications, the timing, and what it means for the Aravallis. Here is a full, unedited conversation which has become the national headline all of last week.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my attempt always to go to the nub of the issue. Joining us is Justice B.R. Gavay, former Chief Justice of India and the author of this judgment on the Aravallis, which is being debated all over the country. Justice Gavay, I hope you will go through my questions and give me appropriate replies, because fundamentally, and I would like to begin by saying this, Justice Gavay, that I have a fundamental disagreement with your judgment, which as a citizen of India, I'm entitled to have. The Aravallis stood for 2 billion years. The judgment that has redefined them was delivered 3 days before your retirement. What was the hurry, Justice Gavay? The judgment was delivered on 20th November and you retired on 23rd November. What was the tearing hurry?
See, I have been monitoring this issue for more than 3 years. If you go through the judgment, we had raised, firstly, see, judges are not supposed to justify their judgment, but since this is an important issue and there's a misconception about the judgment, I agreed to speak to you. If you go through the judgment entirely, the difficulty is that the persons speak about the judgment without even reading them in the entirety. So if you go through the entire judgment, I had given the entire narration as to how the matter arose. There was some issue with regard to the difference adopted by the various states with regard to definition of Aravalli hills and Aravalli ranges. So in order to settle those matters, we heard the matter on number of occasions. Various issues were framed, and after hearing the matter, once you hear the matter at length, if you don't decide the judgment, it's like
Justice Gavay, may I ask you, how can you pass that comment on me on my program that I have made my judgments on the issue without having gone through the judgment? I would politely, completely disagree with this presumption of yours and remind you that I have seen your judgment in entirety. In fact, no, I don't think you can pass a judgment like that, pass a comment like that on my observations, sir. I take offense to that. Having said that.
What I've seen on your program is that it is being projected as if we have given a complete license for mining in the Aravalli Hill, but that's not correct. If you go through the judgment, we have in fact imposed certain more restrictions on mining in the Aravalli Hills and ranges.
No, sir, your own judgment makes it clear on paragraph 30 that your final word went against the amicus curiae, who is a friend of the court. Very explicitly, Justice Gavay, in paragraph 30 of your judgment, it notes that the amicus curiae had stated in his submission, quote, if the definition as recommended by the committee is accepted, all the hills below the height of 100 meters would be opened up for mining, and as a result, the Aravalli hills and the ranges would lose their continuity and integrity. It would totally endanger the environment and ecology of the mountains.
So therefore, if you read the further parts of the judgment, we have considered the rival submissions of both the parties. We have accepted the report of the committee, which was consisting of various experts, various representatives of the state governments. And then we, on a surrender pattern, we have specifically directed that no further mining activities would be conducted.
Justice Gavay, in fact, in para 31, the arguments of the Additional Solicitor General have been documented. I've read that as contradicting what the amicus curiae had said on the premise that, and I quote, it would exclude large areas from the Aravalli hills and ranges. She, however, submitted that if the definition as suggested by the committee is adopted, unquote. If the amicus curiae, who is a friend of the court, has explicitly taken the view contrarian to the committee view, which has ministry at its helm, which has government at its helm, shouldn't the court have taken the view of the amicus and not that of the government pioneered by the ASG?
Mr. Arnab, the court is required to take into consideration the submissions of both the sides. The court cannot accept. It's not necessary that always the court has to accept the submissions are made by one behalf. Maybe the learned amicus is a friend of a court. The court has to consider all the aspects, and after considering the aspect, the court comes to an opinion. So it is not as if that we have to accept the arguments.
No, but the amicus curiae, respected Mr. Justice Gavay, was going by the FSI criteria, but it said that the FSI criteria better preserve the ecological integrity of the Aravallis. Mike, with due respect to you, Justice Gavay, the FSI is comprised of India's topmost and most respected experts on matters of ecology and environment. Does that not matter to you? Are the experts less aware than the government? Or for that matter, less aware than the judiciary?
Mr. Arnab, the FSI was also a part of the larger committee which was appointed by the court. The committee consisted of various experts from various fields, including the representative of the FSI. And the report which was submitted was not only by the government, it was a report of the experts.
Sir, I'm quoting from your judgment, para 27. The FSI had clearly defined the Aravallis in 2010 as, quote, under slope over 3 degrees, foothill buffer equal 100 meters, interhill distance or valley width equal 500 meter, and for the area enclosed by the above defined hills from all sides. What was the need to revisit this definition in the first place?
There was no question of...
Why did you have to revisit this definition in the first place?
So therefore, I made a submission that the comments are made without reading the judgment. If you go through the earlier parts of the judgment, the necessity was felt because all the 4 different states applied different yardstick insofar as the definition of Aravalli hills and definition of Aravalli ranges are concerned.
But that can't be a reason, sir. The fact that the old definition...
Please,
sir. The fact is the old definition... The fact is the old definition recognizes slope, buffer, valley, enclosure and continuity, the very elements that make a mountain range a living ecological system, not a collection of isolated bumps. And yet, the court walked away from it. Why?
The court has not walked through it. On the contrary, if you read the operative paragraphs as well as the earlier paragraphs, we have specifically said that on a Saranda pattern, the MSAP has to be prepared wherein the mining which it will provide, which are the areas where the mining will be prohibited and where the sustainable mining would be permitted.
Sir, I would request you, Justice Gavay, there is a precautionary principle in law. The precautionary principle applies in this case, doesn't it? The precautionary principle in environmental cases means taking preventive action to protect the environment from serious or irreversible harm, even when there is no scientific evidence which is not fully conclusive. This means, as per precedent of the law, the onus is on precaution and safety. Why didn't you apply? I would like to ask you, you have been the Chief Justice of India. The nation wants to know from you, you've been Chief Justice of India in this case, why did you not apply the precautionary principle in this case? There have been innumerable matter precedents of precautionary principles being applied by the honorable courts on matters of environment. I don't find those quoted in your judgment. May I ask you why?
If you read the operative part, it is very much clear that unless the MSCP is finalized by the IFTRI and finalized by the MOEF, no further mining licenses would be granted.
Justice Gavay, Vellore Citizens Welfare Forum versus Union of India, 1996. The Supreme Court declared the precautionary principle a legally enforceable principle crucial for sustainable development and shifted the onus of proof onto polluters. MC Mehta versus Union of India, Taj Trapezium case, 1986. The Supreme Court used the precautionary principle to stop industries from burning coal near the Taj Mahal, recognizing harm from pollution. I am not an advocate, but I am asking the former Chief Justice of India, a matter of principle, why did Justice Gavay not apply? Why did the 3-judge bench not apply the precautionary principle in this case?
If you kindly go through the operative part, clause 4 and 5 make it very much clear that unless the MSAP is finalized by IFTRI and MOEF, no further mining leases will be granted in all 4 states in the Aravalli Hills.
Sir, the precautionary principle means that in matters that are likely to affect the environment, it is not required to prove that the activity will cause harm, but that the activity is prohibited unless it can be established that it is benign. No one is suggesting here that deforesting the Aravallis will... Sir?
What does the prohibition on the new mining licenses amount to?
Okay, sir, then let me ask you the AP Pollution Control Board versus MV Naidu case 1990 to 2000. Landmark Indian Supreme Court judgment that reinforced the precautionary principle, established the right to clean water as a part of the right to life, Article 21, and placed the burden of proof on polluters. All these cases were there for you to look at, sir.
We have looked at the cases, and this is T.N. Godavaram and N.C. Mehta are the continuing mandamus proceedings. They are not as if we have closed the matters.
What do you mean?
The
it's not as
continuing.
Sir, I'm asking. So you're saying the matter is not closed?
The matter is not closed. We have directed the MSCP to get the report. The MSCP report will come to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court will find out wherein the mining activities are to be permitted and where they are to be prohibited. It is not as if that the matter is closed.
Sir, but you've not looked at other cases which were in the public domain. There is a May report by the government. It's titled Detailed Action Plan Aravalli Landscape Restoration, in brackets Aravalli Green Wall. The irony is this report was published by the Ministry of Environment and Forests. It's not even an old report. It was published in May 25, just 8 months before the Supreme Court redefined the Aravallis. It involved the Forest Survey of India, state forest departments of Delhi, Gujarat, Haryana, Rajasthan, along with German Cooperation for International Cooperation. Now, this report was in the public domain and the nation wants to know from you, Justice Gavay, as the former Chief Justice of India, would you see it the other way, that this report had very much established the threat to the Aravallis? 8 months before your judgment, your new definition allows for leeway by the mining players to exploit an already depleting resource.
Mr. Arnab Goswami, it is firstly not the definition provided by the court. It is a report of the committee of the experts. The court found that the report was liable to be accepted subject to the further requirement regarding, I am again repeating we are again going to the...
So you don't completely agree with the government's version, which the government says we are only going by what the Supreme Court says. You are saying you're only going by what the government told.
We are going by what the report of the experts, of which the FSO was also a party. We only accepted that, and in addition to acceptance, we imposed certain stringent conditions which would protect the mining activities. Unless the MSCP is finalized, no further mining will be permitted.
Sir, you've seen Sir, you've seen the report.
If you kindly go through paragraph 4 and paragraph 5 of the operative order, it is more than clear.
Sir, you have seen the affidavit out here, sir, of the government which was filed in this case, because I have gone through it in detail. It's 2000. You say I have not seen the reports, but I have read every word of the 2,334-page additional affidavit filed by the Ministry of Environment. Sir, I am very detailed in my work. Sir, the fact of the matter is the government is trying to institutionalize mining as a core objective, not as an exception, by formally designing a framework whose purpose is to enable exploitation, mining inside the Aravallis.
No, but then we have not accepted that. We have specifically stated that unless and until MSFE, the Management of Sustainable Development Plan, is finalized, no further mining.
Sir, may I ask you a question, sir? You also said, sir, now that there is considerable public outrage on this matter, and by informed people, not uninformed people, do you believe that if necessary, this matter should be looked at again, reviewed, discussed?
I have always stated that the law has to be static, law has to be developing, law has to be organic.
Yes.
We have, on various occasions, wherever we have found that earlier orders are not correct, the courts have always corrected them.
So,
therefore, I was not inclined to speak to you because the matter may come in review, and normally the author of the judgment should not speak about the judgment. But since you insisted that this is an important issue pertaining to environment,
yes.
So if the subsequent benches find that something more to be done, it is always permissible. So the TN of Godavarnam is a continuous mandamus process.
So it can come up for review. I mean, you're not. I mean, your view is given. I'm sure you've kept track of the public discussion on this matter, sir, over the last few days, and the amount of attention it has got.
If the court subsequently finds that something more needs to be done, something needs to be corrected, the courts can always do it.
And the government should be open to review as well, given all the expert opinion, others, it can be put through review again, this decision, this definition, in public interest?
So I can't comment on what the subsequent, because I am now I can't be a part of the bench now, I am out of the system. Wherever the matter is brought before the bench will always take into consideration all the aspects.
Sir, is the Supreme Court adjudicating mineral potential or environmental protection?
It is considering environment protection, and if you go through the various orders which preceded this order is not passed in a day. It is passed over an exercise which was undertaken for last more than 1.5 years, insofar as Aravallis is concerned.
So the government is portraying this as a Supreme Court mandated environment protection, as an economic loss, building a grievance narrative to reopen mining on revenue. My point is, sir, you are the author of this report. I have read every word of the report. Of the judgment. I believe there needs to be some balance between the views of the government
always,
and the
you see,
concerns of the citizens.
I have always been advocating the concept of protection of environment, protection of ecology, and the sustainable development. So wherever there is a conflict, a balance has to be given. The environment has to be protected. Ecology has to be protected. I must have authored around 18 to 20 judgments in last 3 years for the protection of environment. And the courts are always, it is always permissible for the court if there is something more to be done, something to be corrected. The courts are always open to it.
Sir, matters are taken suo moto by the courts.
Yes, sir. T.N. Goswami is a suo moto. MC Mehta is a suo moto. MC Mehta is on a postcard of...
but this
MC
was a
Mehta.
suo moto as well.
This was not a suo moto. If you go through it, the concerns were raised by the various states that there is no consistency insofar as the definition of Aravalli hills and ranges is concerned. And therefore, in order to bring a common, uniform definition, the court was required to go into all these issues.
So what stops anyone from redefining? Sir, tomorrow somebody will define the Ganges. Tomorrow somebody will redefine the Himalayas. I said the other day with respect that the Supreme Court of India did not create the Himalayas or the Aravallis.
I have already told you it was necessary in order to protect the illegal mining activities which were going on. The various states were saying that it is not in the area doesn't fall in Aravalli hills and therefore the mining can go on. In order to avoid all that, we were required to pass those restrictions.
So I think that, okay, so here's the point. Now, in this particular case, Justice Gavay, the nation is angry. 80% of the people feel there should be a revisiting of the judgment. What is your view on the need to, on revisiting the judgment? Because the government is taking a very stern, inflexible position. You're the author of the judgment.
I can't make any comment on that because any comment by me may be prejudging the issue because I am out of the system. I don't want to make any statement which may have a direct, indirect effect on the proceedings that may arise in the court. And that is why I was reluctant to speak because the judges before whom if the review is filed are always entitled to take a relook at the matter and take appropriate action. I can't make any comment.
Well, I'll appreciate your coming on air tonight because I got a chance to put some straight questions. I hope you will also say, sir, today that after this interview, you would not say that I have not read the judgment, and I hope you find the merit in the questions that I have phrased before you. Because I believe Justice Gavay that the judiciary is important, the media is also important. It's important for us to get the opportunity for this interaction.
I have due respect for the media, but I again say that you have not read the judgment completely. If you had read the judgment, the first 2 or 3 paragraphs, you would have come to know as to why this entire exercise was necessary.
Sir, I again tell you, I have read every word of the judgment from the first to the last page.
I'm sorry.
And I have not just read this judgment, I have read previous judgments on the matter, and I politely disagree with your interpretation to it. I hope you feel that.
Anyway, we are not here to convince each other. We are not here to convince each other.
No, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just taking
I
your
still
view.
hold that had you read the judgment, you would know as to why the requirement for having the definition was required.
Sir, I have read the judgment entirely. Otherwise, how could I quote para, chapter and verse to you right now on the judgment?
Then if you have read the judgment, it is the learned amicus who requested the court to take steps to define the judgment, define the definition of Aravalli hills and Aravalli ranges.
Well, I mean, everybody is shooting off the other shoulder, sir.
So anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Justice Gavay, and thank you for coming on Republic. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Republic pieces together a disturbing chain of events that have unfolded all of last week in Bangladesh. Attacks, intimidation, targeted killings of Hindus, unfolding alongside a deep political churn now underway at Dhaka. Republic traces this escalation from August 2024 to December 2025, when homes have been torched, Hindu seers charged with sedition, temples vandalized, and now murders in public view, murders of Hindus for public consumption in Bangladesh. That's how dangerous the situation has become. Our team has documented gruesome murders, including that of Deepu Chandradas, Amrit Mondal, set ablaze in public. These attacks coincide with political upheaval, and the ousting of a Prime Minister, which happened last year in July, installation of a new head of state, and the return of Tariq Rahman, which happened a few days ago. He returned after 17 years in exile, reshaping what could be Bangladesh's power equation in the years and months to come. Republic's investigation now brings you these shocking realities of Bangladesh, from Dhaka streets to India's borders. Watch as we continue to track the developments and why Indians, Hindus in India, are extremely angry tonight.
House of a popular Hindu musician in Bangladesh torched. Mob marches into a school, Hindu principal forced to resign. Hindu seers dragged into false sedition cases for hoisting saffron flags. Hindu temples vandalized nationwide after the eviction of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Not even days passed to the harrowing murder of Deepu Chandra Das. Another chilling murder emerges. Amrit Mondal, another Hindu man, living, breathing, set ablaze publicly by a mob in Bangladesh's Rajbari district. First, they ousted their own Prime Minister. Then, they installed the man of their choosing as the head of state. Next, they sought refuge on Indian soil, tried to huddle together for as long as they could, until the SIR in West Bengal escalated. Now, once again, the people have taken to the streets, burning their own newspaper offices, vandalizing their own institutions. But this time, it is different. The anger is not just at their own government. This time, they are charging against something far bigger. And the reason? According to Yunus's government, India has shot dead the man you see on your screens. The price of his death is being paid in the blood of Hindus in Bangladesh. What is happening to Hindus in Bangladesh is no longer a set of isolated incidents.
There is a two kind of religion in the world. One is inclusive, who says that everybody has right to live. There is a relation which says no, ours is the best. And everyone should follow us. Then there will be atrocity on the people who do not follow you. So there are many stories in Bangladesh. Because it was a government led by Hasina, Sheikh Hasina, we thought that those will be legally addressed. Even if we raise concern maybe at a highest diplomatic level without making noises. But don't make that mistake that Deepu Das is the lone case. the Hindu population of Bangladesh has come down drastically from 12 crores today to 2 crores. Where these 10 crores people goes? Where they disappear? The story of Hindus in Bangladesh are painful, sad, and I have been Bangladesh. I have visited people like Narayanganj, and I have met people, Hindu people there. And you can see many areas where the temples are, if you travel from Dhaka to Meghalaya, Dauki, in the road, both sides of the road, you can see in your own eyes the fallen Hindu temples. So these are there, these stories are not new. But because today we have a situation where we are discussing, because now Bangladesh is not pro-India. Tomorrow, if Bangladesh gets a government who improve diplomatic ties with India, these stories will disappear. But the reality will not disappear.
Radical activist Usman Hadi's death has unleashed a monster that could cascade into India as well if not intervened.
We have all along discussed the chicken neck. Yes. But have we ever discussed who are the people in the chicken neck? Everybody say chicken neck, 22 kilometer, 22 kilometer. But everybody who is there in the chicken neck and in the 10 kilometer vicinities of chicken neck in the Indian side, everybody have come from Bangladesh. So tomorrow, if government of Bangladesh says that let me take over the chicken neck, now the local people will say please come, because they themselves have come from Bangladesh.
And now return of Dhaka's dark prince, son of Bangladesh's ex-Prime Minister Khalida Zia. Amid political crisis in Bangladesh, a moment that could redefine power equations after 17 long years in exile, Tariq Rahman is back on Bangladeshi soil, setting the stage for a high-stakes political showdown. His arrival could not come at a more chaotic time. Hasina's authoritarian grip is gone, replaced by Yunus's interim government, and a dangerous rule of lawlessness crushing both people and economy.
Absentee political leaders who have not been in the country for so long, they do not know what the pulse beat of the people is, how people feel and think about the situation. I don't know to what extent the leader will be able to enthuse the crowd and whether the crowd will really give him the opportunity. So it's a big risk they are taking in putting all the expectations on one single individual. Whether he will be able to measure up to it is not really clear. To my mind, what is important right now in Bangladesh is to change the tempo, change the mood, being more open about situations, about other political parties, their viewpoints, allow them to participate. Only then would it be representative.
Bangladesh yearns for democracy, yet right-wing Islamist forces push to turn the nation into an Islamic theocracy. But just before his return, Tariq invoked slogans for Hadi, the same man who passed away in Singapore earlier this month, the same man who dreamed of capturing India's northeast and creating a greater Bangladesh. While Hindus burn in Bangladesh, Yunus points fingers at India. Will Tariq's return mark a psychological reset in Bangladesh?
The people of India always believed in the past that Bangladesh will always be pro-India. That belief actually somehow make us handicapped. During the Sheikh Hasina's government, the idea is that no, don't push them. Don't push anyone. Don't push Bangladesh. Hasina will be upset. Fine, we did not do anything. Then India was liberated. Indira Gandhi could have said that take back all the Bangladeshi, but she said no, let them be here. They are, after all, we are now like a family. Bangladesh and India are just like sister countries. So the belief that Bangladesh will be always with your friend, will be your friend. We never discuss all these issues.
Is he Dhaka's comeback king or just another hardline right-winger branded as a liberal?
What a week it's been, ladies and gentlemen. And we promise you that the next week is going to be much more newsy than the last. Like it always is news. And in case you missed the long-form story, you can catch the full show tomorrow, 12 p.m. Thanks for watching.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आर्थिक मसाला।
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
We are willing to put an end to this conflict via peaceful means based on the principles that I outlined in July last year when I spoke at the Foreign Ministry of Russia.
Putin squarely blamed Kyiv for the failure of peace negotiations, accusing Ukraine's leadership of refusing dialogue.
Statements from Zelensky that he is not prepared to discuss territory issues. At the moment, we don't see their readiness. I would like to remind where it all began.
Rejecting allegations against Russia, Putin claimed Moscow did not start the war. Putin blames roots of Ukraine conflict lie in 2014 anti-constitutional coup.
We did not start this war. This war began as a result of the anti-constitutional military coup in 2014 and then commencement of the military action against its own citizens in the southeast of Ukraine.
Despite the tough stand, Putin said Russia remains open to dialogue and peaceful resolution.
We also would very much like to live in peace next year, getting rid of military conflicts, and I reiterate, we actually would very much like to resolve all contentious issues by way of talks.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी व्हाट आर यू डूइंग
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध MDH गरम मसाला
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरे राजा
राजा और मसाला
We just now felt this entire mountain shiver because there are blasts going on. As we were telling you, usually for the limestone mining, the acceptable range of the blast is around 1 meter. And that won't be so harsh that we could feel this entire mountain, feel shake. Yes, definitely. And the kind of, because for cement mining, they need a blast of a larger range of something around 50 meters or 60 meters, and when that happens we were not able to show you, but because that is very frequent between 2 to 3 p.m. we'll try to get that on camera for you guys. But while I was speaking to you, I could feel this mountain shake. So that is the range, and all of this is illegal, Shivam. All of this, the range of those blasts which is used in those mining, the kind of trucks that you see on the other end which are carrying those residual pebbles, those are also they are not legally allowed to sell those, but they're not only doing illegal work, they're also making double profit out of whatever is left here. They're making profit illegally out of the Aravalli hills, the lungs of the Delhi NCR, the home for several hundreds of people, wildlife, and so much more. As we know that recently the Supreme Court has accepted the new definition of the Aravalli range, where any mountain which is under the height of 100 meters will not be considered as a part of Aravalli range. Now, what will be the repercussions of it? Any mountain which is not considered a part of Aravalli range will be open to construction, will be open to mining, and this Aravalli range, which is more than 2.5 billion years old, also the lungs of the Delhi NCR, protects Delhi NCR from heat wave, from dust, and from letting the situation get even worse, which already is in Delhi NCR with the pollution. We are showing you something which spans far before this entire decision, which is of a time when this decision was nowhere to be seen, which was not expected. But clearly this was expected by the authorities, because we are showing you the ranges. Let us make you understand. Now, as you see on the other end, that is a mountain in another village, and according to the locals here, this mountain that where you can see me standing was also of the same height, but it was actually chopped down, it was actually cut and brought to this height, so that later such decision would be accepted by the court. These would be open for mining and construction as well. Now, as per the villagers, the company here has a lease for a different kind of construction material, which is chuna patti in Hindi, and these are the ranges which are usually used for it. These are the ranges which are normally used for the mining of chuna patti, which is a kind of construction material. But these companies with the lease of chuna patti are actually using.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Viewers, we begin this edition of the news by thanking you, the viewers of Republic, because this is a direct Republic impact. The Supreme Court has, in a sudden move, decided to take up the Aravalli matter tomorrow. When questions were being raised over the future of the Aravallis, Republic refused to let the issue be buried under definitions and paperwork. For days, we kept the spotlight firmly on the investigation and ground reports, and you stood with us. Now, amid a nationwide uproar, there's an unusual move by the Supreme Court, which has reopened the Aravalli case, stepping in after sustained public pressure. This is pressure that followed a relentless Republic campaign for the last 2 weeks. This comes just 5 days after the Arnab and Justice Gavay interview that reignited the Aravalli debate across the country and took the issue into the national conscience. When journalism persists and citizens engage, institutions respond. Today, we acknowledge the power of the people who demanded answers and accountability. The fight for the Aravallis is far from over. But one thing is clear, that when Republic raises an issue, the nation listens and the system responds. This is a direct Republic impact. Let's get started. A direct impact of Republic campaign. SC takes up Aravalli case suo motu. CJI led bench to hear the case on Monday. SC could take a re-look at Aravalli definition. A big victory for the people. Republic welcomes the court decision. SC takes up Aravalli matter suo motu following nationwide public campaign. All eyes on SC hearing on Monday. SC to hear CBI's appeal against suspension of life sentence granted to Kuldeep Singh Sengar on Monday.
आज दुनिया भारत को बहुत आशा के साथ देख रही है। भारत से उम्मीद की सबसे बड़ी वजह है हमारी युवा शक्ति, विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में हमारी उपलब्धियां।
PM Modi addresses the final episode of 2025's Man Ki Baat address, says India marched ahead on multiple fronts in 2025 and whole world is expecting big things from India.
इस साल ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हर भारतीय के लिए गर्व का प्रतीक बन गया। दुनिया ने साफ देखा, आज का भारत अपनी सुरक्षा से कोई समझौता नहीं करता।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails Operation Sindoor's success in 129th episode of Man Ki Baat, says India proved its might through Operation Sindoor. All right, viewers, let's start with the first top story. In his final address of the year 2025, PM Narendra Modi, in his 129th address of Mann Ki Baat, hailed the success of Operation Sindoor, saying India proved its might through Operation Sindoor. Highlighting the India's moments of pride, PM further said India marched ahead on multiple fronts in 2025 and whole world is expecting big things from India. PM Modi also highlighted that the countrymen are shifting towards Swadeshi products.
इस साल ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हर भारतीय के लिए गर्व का प्रतीक बन गया। दुनिया ने साफ देखा, आज का भारत अपनी सुरक्षा से कोई समझौता नहीं करता। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान देश के कोने कोने से मां भारती के प्रति प्रेम और समर्पण की तस्वीरें सामने आई। लोगों ने अपने अपने तरीके से अपने भाव व्यक्त किए। स्वदेशी को लेकर भी लोगों का उत्साह खूब दिखाई दिया। लोग वही सामान खरीद रहे हैं जिसमें किसी भारतीय का पसीना लगा हो और जिसमें भारत की मिट्टी की सुगंध हो। आज हम गर्व से कह सकते हैं 2025 ने भारत को और अधिक आत्मविश्वास दिया है। ये बात भी सही है, इस वर्ष प्राकृतिक आपदाएं हमें झेलनी पड़ी, अनेक क्षेत्रों में झेलनी पड़ी। अब देश 2026 में नई उम्मीदों, नए संकल्पों के साथ आगे बढ़ने को तैयार है। आज दुनिया भारत को बहुत आशा के साथ देख रही है। भारत से उम्मीद की सबसे बड़ी वजह है हमारी युवा शक्ति। विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में हमारी उपलब्धियां, नए नए इनोवेशन, टेक्नोलॉजी का विस्तार, इनसे दुनिया भर के देश बहुत प्रभावित हैं। साथियों, भारत के युवाओं में हमेशा कुछ नया करने का जुनून है और वो उतने ही जागरूक भी हैं। कई तस्वीरें, कई चर्चाएं, कई उपलब्धियां जिन्होंने देश को एक साथ जोड़ दिया। 2025 ने हमें ऐसे कई पल दिए जिन पर हर भारतीय को गर्व हुआ। देश की सुरक्षा से लेकर खेल के मैदान तक, विज्ञान की प्रयोगशालाओं से लेकर दुनिया के बड़े मंचों तक भारत ने हर जगह अपनी मजबूत छाप छोड़ी।
All right, viewers, let's move on to another big breaking news that is coming in right at this moment. Amanpreet, the brother of Bollywood actress Kuldeep Singh, has reportedly gone into hiding. Now, according to police sources, marking a new development in the Masab tank drug case, the Hyderabad police, with the assistance of the Eagle team, have initiated a search operation to locate him. Now, this move follows the arrests on December 17 of two businessmen from Troop Bazaar, Nitin Singhania and Shrenik Singhvi. Interrogation of the arrested duo revealed Amanpreet's alleged involvement. His name came up in the interrogation, his alleged involvement, as investigators determined he had purchased drugs from them. Now, police seized 43 grams of cocaine and MDMA from the traders. Amanpreet was also previously arrested by Cyberabad police last year in a separate drug-related incident. Meanwhile, officials have disclosed that 4 additional individuals are implicated in supplying drugs to Singhania and Singhvi. The investigation is continuing to identify the full network operating the drug racket. So a very big development here, a big breaking news that's on your television screen. Amanpreet, the brother of Bollywood actress Kuldeep Singh, has reportedly gone into hiding. Now, for more information, we are being joined by Aishwarya. Aishwarya, this is a very big development. Amanpreet, the brother of Bollywood actress's name is involved here. What are the latest details that the agencies have found, the police have found?
The brother of the actor Kuldeep Singh has been found as the drug consumer from where these two big businessmen were arrested on December 19th by Hyderabad police, where in a while they busted a drug racket here at Mazhab Tank. They found out that through these two businessmen, there were several drug consumers who were procuring drugs from these businessmen. And one of the names that emerged in this particular list was the brother of Rakulpreet Singh, that is Amanpreet Singh. And when the police went to get hold of him, he had absconded, and they have launched a search manhunt for Amanpreet Singh here, and he's currently underground, and the police are saying that they will soon get hold of him for further interrogation as well. And until now, he's only been listed as the drug consumer. And because earlier also he was in July 2024 itself, he was arrested in a very similar case, in the drug case, where he was also listed as a drug consumer who was purchasing drugs in Hyderabad. Now, yet again, he's been listed in another drug racket busted case, where he's again listed as a drug consumer. And now he's also absconding. So the police is saying that they'll take strict action against him, and there'll be an interrogation, and they will get until the depth of this particular racket, and they will arrest whoever is responsible for this.
Definitely, Aishwarya. How many people are in radar of the police during the interrogation? And is it confirmed that he's only a receiver, he's a consumer, or was he part of the larger network also? Any more details on that?
Apart from Amanpreet Singh, there are 4 others named who were also listed, and there were 2 Nigerian nationalists living in Hyderabad were also later arrested, were taken into custody by the police. Apart from Amanpreet Singh, there are 4 others also for whom the police are also looking to arrest and interrogate them. Until now, the confirmation from the police is he's just a drug consumer. He's the one who is purchasing drugs from these businessmen who were arrested in Mazhab Tank on December 19th. Whether he's in the racket, any involvement of him inside the racket or procuring or even supplying is something the police are also looking into, but there's no official confirmation on it.
All right, Aishwarya, thanks for the latest updates on this developing story. Keep a track on this story. We'll come back to you when you have more updates on this. All right, viewers, let's move on to another big breaking news that's coming in right at this moment. Breaking news coming in from Uttarakhand. The Pushkar Singh Dhami government takes strict action in the murder case of a Tripura student. Now, Chief Minister says such incidents are completely unacceptable. The state government has taken the murder of Angel Chakma, a student from Tripura, very, very seriously. Now, Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami said that no such incident will be tolerated in the state. The government will deal strictly with anti-social elements. Now, those involved in such incidents will not be spared, he also said. So, this is a very big development in the Uttarakhand case where a student was murdered, where a young person was murdered. The state government has taken the murder of Angel Chakma, who is a student from Tripura, very seriously. Now, CM Pushkar Singh Dhami said that no such incident will be tolerated in the state. All right, we have Ratan with us to speak on this issue. Ratan, what are the latest updates? Kya jankari?
देखिए, उत्तराखंड के मुख्यमंत्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी ने इस केस को काफी गंभीरता से लिया है। उन्होंने कहा कि सरकार इस पूरे मामले में सख्त है। मुख्यमंत्री धामी ने कहा कि ऐसी घटना को स्वीकार नहीं किया जा सकता है। त्रिपुरा के छात्र एंजल चकमा की हत्या के मामले में अब धामी सरकार बेहद यहां पर गंभीर हो चुकी है। मुख्यमंत्री धामी ने कहा कि अराजक तत्वों से सख्ती के साथ यहां पर निपटा जाएगा। इसके साथ ही मुख्यमंत्री धामी ने कहा कि 5 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया जा चुका है, जिसमें से 2 आरोपी नाबालिग है, जिन्हें बाल सुधार गृह में भेजा जा चुका है। एक आरोपी जो फरार है, जिसकी धरपकड़ के लगातार काम किया जा रहा है और उस पर 25,000 का इनाम घोषित किया गया है। उत्तराखंड पुलिस उसकी धरपकड़ के लगातार चेकिंग अभियान यहां पर चला रही है। वहीं मुख्यमंत्री धामी ने पुलिस अधिकारी को निर्देश दिए कि फरार आरोपी को जल्द से जल्द गिरफ्तार यहां पर किया जाए और अराजक तत्व को किसी भी हालत में बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जा सकता। वहीं मुख्यमंत्री धामी ने यह भी कहा कि उत्तराखंड सरकार उत्तराखंड में रह रहे नागरिकों की सुरक्षा के लिए भी प्रतिबद्ध है। उन्होंने त्रिपुरा के मृतक छात्र के प्रति गहरा शोक भी प्रकट किया है। तो कह सकते हैं उत्तराखंड की सरकार इस प्रकरण के बाद काफी गंभीर नजर आ रही है। जो एक आरोपी इस वक्त फरार चल रहा है, उसकी गिरफ्तारी के लिए लगातार छानबीन की जा रही है और 25,000 रुपए का उस पर इनाम रखा गया है। जल्द से जल्द उसको पकड़ लिया जाएगा, ऐसा उत्तराखंड की पुलिस का भी कहना है।
All right, a very big development in this case. A reward has been given on this development of the one who is absconding. The search is on. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, viewers, let's move on to our next big breaking news that is coming in right at this moment. News coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. A hand grenade was recovered, safely defused in North Kashmir's Baramulla. Big development. A hand grenade was recovered and it was safely defused in North Kashmir's Baramulla. A rusted grenade was found during night hours at Zogiar area of Baramulla. The Joint Security Forces immediately secured the spot and called in the bomb disposal squad. The bomb disposal squad safely defused the grenade, averting any potential threat. So, any disaster that could have taken place, a damage that could have taken place was averted. And it was the bomb disposal squad safely defused the grenade. So, as you can see from the pictures, a hand grenade was recovered and it was safely defused in North Kashmir's Baramulla. All right, for more details, we are being joined by Aravat to give us more details on this issue. Aravat, what are the developments?
Yes, absolutely. We have seen that the cordon and search operation was launched by the Joint Security Forces in the Zogiar area in the Baramulla district, where we have seen that the hand grenade was recovered by the Joint Forces. The security forces has got the intelligence input that there might be some explosive in the forest areas. Then after we have seen that the cordon and search operation remained on in the area, and then after we have seen that the PDS call of the Baramulla police was called to the spot, where we have seen that the hand grenade was destroyed by our forces successfully. We have yesterday also seen an suspicious IED like object was destroyed yesterday in the same North Kashmir. It indicates that there are the back-to-back attempts by the terrorist organization to create disturbance in the Kashmir Valley. But yes, we have seen at the same time, we have seen from the line of control areas to other plain areas of the Kashmir Valley, our forces are alert, and we have seen a major tragedy has been averted by our forces in the North Kashmir, Zogiar, Baramulla. Yes.
Definitely, Rava, thanks a lot for the information. Definitely a major tragedy was averted and the bomb has been diffused. All right, viewers, let's move on to a next top story. And viewers, from day one, Republic has been demanding the Supreme Court to revisit the definition of Aravalli Hills. And now they are taking suo motu cognizance. Our editor-in-chief, Arnab Goswami, didn't hold back, questioning former CJI B.R. Gavay's judgment and going against the amicus curiae's advice. Watch the explosive interview that reignited the Aravalli debate, the interview that brought renewed attention to the case.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my attempt always to go to the nub of the issue. Joining us is Justice B.R. Gavay, former Chief Justice of India and the author of this judgment on the Aravallis, which is being debated all over the country. Justice Gavay, I hope you will go through my questions and give me appropriate replies, because fundamentally, and I would like to begin by saying this, Justice Gavay, that I have a fundamental disagreement with your judgment, which as a citizen of India, I'm